Welcome to the Vibe Living Podcast, a podcast that talks about topics for women over 40. You know, that time of your life that many call midlife. That time of life when you can really vibe, be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. Join me, Linus Woods Mullins, certified holistic living and wellness expert for women over 40, as I talk about a variety of topics that address the wellness of the mind, body, and spirit for women over 40. Remember, midlife doesn't mean no life. Midlife is an opportunity to increase your self love, your self care, and your self worth. It's your time to be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. It's your time to vibe. So come on, let's vibe. Welcome to Vibe Living. I'm so happy you decided to drop by to talk about how we can continue to vibe and live a fabulous life as we age. We have a wonderful guest who will be talking about two great ways to vibe. But before we bring her on, I wanted to talk with you about maybe two other ways that we can vibe that will keep us healthy and engaged. Let's talk first about the body. Well, I have to admit that I have ignored something over the last few months that I know I must do. It's funny, but as a dancer, I really disliked having to do this and would find all kinds of excuses not to. The result of not doing this as a dancer was basically pulled muscles and other injuries that I could have avoided. What am I talking about? I am talking about stretching. And if you're not doing it, you should be. And here's why. Stretching can reduce the symptoms of arthritis and also help relieve lower back pain. Did you know about 30% of adults suffer from either arthritis or back pain after 40? Stretching is one way to reduce the symptoms of arthritis and back pain, and in some cases to avoid it altogether. Stretching can reduce the risk of falling. It can help us with our balance and boost circulation, which is really important when it comes to being alert of the dangers that might happen when we're walking. When you are moving and that blood circulation is flowing to the brain, it makes you more aware, which helps you when it comes to predicting anything that might happen when you're walking. Stretching is a good way to prevent yourself from falling, believe it or not. Stretching also supports good posture. Tight ligaments and tendons can contribute to poor posture. And these days, many of us are more sedentary, not just because of our age, but because of the COVID-19 environment. We just aren't moving as much. Stretching can help prevent the damage that comes as a result of being so sedentary. Also, stretching improves your blood flow. Low intensity stretching uses movement to improve the stretch, which increases circulation and nutrient flow throughout the whole body. Stretching supports muscle strength. It supports improving your flexibility and range of motion, and it increases circulation and blood flow. When combined with resistance training, stretching can help keep joints flexible, making it easier to be comfortable to perform all the activities that fill our days. It's imperative that we stretch if we want to vibe. And here's another tip to maintain a healthy mind. Let's talk about that for a minute. What kinds of things can we do to have a healthy mind? Or more specifically, what can we do to improve our mental health? These are trying times. In fact, these times are unlike anything we have seen in our lifetime. It is easy to get caught up in all the negativity, to get anxious and overwhelmed about everything that is going on. The good news is that there are things we can do to boost our mental health, things that we can do to increase our awareness of what is good in our lives. Focusing on what is good is great for our mental health. So here's a couple of suggestions. Try working to your strengths. Do something you're good at to build your self-confidence and self-esteem and increase a feeling of self-value. Building your confidence goes a long way if we have to tackle tougher tasks or changes in our lives that require increased self-confidence. Experiment. with a new recipe or write a poem or maybe try a new Pinterest project. Creative expression and overall well being are definitely linked. When you're doing something creative, you feel better. Also, try something outside your comfort zone. Be adventurous and put some excitement in your life by doing something that makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, but also gives you a great sense of accomplishment. Maybe it's learning to swim or getting familiar with the computer. Whatever it is, give it a try. Just trying will give you a big boost in terms of your overall feeling of well being. We all could use that boost, right? I know I can. A boost in our energy and maybe a boost in our mood. Well, my guest is going to talk just about that. Let's talk about achieving some spiritual bliss while increasing our energy. But I'm very excited to introduce to you Allie Snow, who is a Reiki master. She's also an essential oil distributor with Young Living and a chronic wellness warrior. Her graduate degree is in public administration with an emphasis on nonprofit public management. But Allie also works as a Christ centered distance energy healer and essential oil consultant. She helps individuals to raise their energetic vibration through Reiki sessions and through using therapeutic grade oils. She loves to empower women to live on a higher vibration that increases their faith, their confidence, and their ability to discover and develop spiritual gifts. Allie has an extensive history with chronic illness, and she became an energy healer and essential oil consultant after experiencing considerable improvement with her own wellness. Welcome to Vibe Living. I'm excited to have you here and really would love for you to share your story. Tell me something about yourself and how you came to be interested in energy healing. And what is energy healing for those of us that may not know?
Hi, Landis. Thank you so much for having me on the show
Mhm.
today. It's my absolute pleasure. So, you mentioned briefly that I have a pretty extensive history of chronic illness. And about 3 years ago, I was talking with my therapist, and he recognized that the kind of healing that I was seeking in my life wasn't going to come from talk therapy. Talk therapy is good, and it's not that we were stopping services. He just knew that I needed something more. So he's actually the one that referred me to my energy healer, and that was a little over 3 years ago, and it's been incredible. I've seen major improvements in my own physical and mental and emotional and spiritual welfare, actually, since seeing and working with the energy healer. And since it was helping me so much with my life, I decided to become an energy healer myself.
That's interesting because a lot of people might have heard of energy healing, but they're not quite sure exactly what it is and how they can learn to do it. Could you give us like a simplistic explanation of what energy healing is?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, one of the energy modalities that I'm trained in is called Reiki. And Reiki is Japanese, and it literally means universal life force energy. So all of us come from, a wide variety of religious and faith backgrounds. And so the belief is that the universal life force energy is the pure love from heaven. And when we can connect to that life force energy in Reiki sessions, that's where the true healing is going to happen. So my role as a healer is simply to be a conduit for the other person to be able to connect to their own divinity
Mm-hmm.
and to the person that they view as God, or if they're not looking at God as an entity, to the universe itself.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to tap into those powers and be able to find a lot of hope and strength and faith and healing through that life force.
Beautiful. I have done energy healing before, and it is a little bit mysterious, but to me, because I don't know all the ins and outs, I'm not trained to do it, but I have been a client of energy healers, and it does absolutely make a difference. Now, you had mentioned that you had suffered from chronic disease or chronic issues. Were you born that way, or did you have an event that caused the chronic issues?
Great question. Yeah, so I was born very, very healthy. I even apparently was born with a full head of hair, which makes me laugh. It all fell out quickly, but hey, you know. And I did really well until I was a young adult. And when I was a young adult, I was involved in a pretty serious car accident as
Mm,
a pedestrian. And after that car accident happened, I started developing all kinds of autoimmune issues. Autoimmunity is like the body attacking itself.
mm,
And women and men too often develop autoimmune issues if they've suffered a psychological or physical trauma. And mine was both.
mm.
And so after that trauma occurred, that's when the autoimmunity started coming into my life, and post-traumatic stress disorder, and other things that have really been challenging for me as a young adult. It's been about 9 years since the accident, so it's been quite the journey.
You're dealing with all the pain and everything else that was associated with the incident. That kind of reminds me of all the different things that we deal with in relationship to trauma. Many of us have been traumatized, some not in the same way that you have been traumatized, maybe physically, but emotionally as well. How does energy healing help those that might have been traumatized emotionally?
That's an awesome question. Thank you. You know, energy healing can actually really help us be able to release trauma out of our body,
Hmm.
because when when we experience traumatic events, it's like our body remembers. There's actually a book called The Body Keeps the Score, and it's a very good book, and it's all about how unprocessed trauma stuck in our body can cause a lot of physical or psychological issues. So, what energy healing can do is to be able to help a person release the trauma out of their body. And in addition to the trauma out of their body, also be able to release any negative feelings that they have about themselves because of the trauma.
Hmm.
So, I find that a lot of people, what's actually more difficult for them to overcome, in addition to the actual trauma itself, is maybe the low feelings of self worth or feeling unworthy or inadequate because of the trauma that happened to them. So, as an energy healer, we work together with divinity to be able to literally release the trauma out of your body and out of your energy field. And so that you remember that it happened, but it no longer plagues you on a physical or psychological level.
What are some of the other benefits with energy healing? What are some of the other things that energy healing can do for you?
Well, I'm so glad that about about kind of removing ties from people. Even like you said, even if they're really good people and they have
Right.
good intentions, it's really important for us to have our whole selves to ourselves and to let other people have their whole selves to themselves. So actually every day I do a small clearing for myself, and
Hmm.
so that I can just be back to who I am and have all of my pieces with me and return other people's pieces I may have taken back to them.
Right. Yes.
Another thing I really love about energy healing is being able to release limiting beliefs.
Mm.
So we look at our reality and we think, well, this is just how it is. Things are going to stay this way because they've always been this way. And what I've actually learned through energy healing is that doesn't have to be true at all. We have the opportunity to start fresh every moment of every day. And there's an unlimited amount of possibility that comes every day. And so sometimes, we sell ourselves short, or we think that we can't have things, or we think, well, I'm sick, so I have to stay sick, or well, I've always been in poverty, so I guess that's just my lot in life. And those are just two of many examples. However, one of the great things about energy healing is it helps you be able to look at things from a more eternal perspective. So you're able to recognize and connect more with your divinity, and then see, actually, yeah, there are unlimited possibilities,
Hmm.
because of the universal life force energy, because of God, or because of the universe. We have the ability to, co-create our own reality.
Doesn't mean that you are in some other far off land because you're out of your mind. It means that because you have done the work and freed up the space within you, that you have even more unlimited possibilities to create a life you really want and to do that with great ease. Now, how does this part of what you do help to complement the work you do with essential oils?
That's an awesome question. There are a few oils that I put on myself every day. I would never miss. I take it as seriously as I would take medicine, right?
Hmm.
And these oils will help me, sometimes first thing in the morning when I'm waking up, it's, I think, pretty relatable to a lot of people. You think, I don't really want to get up today, or maybe you start thinking about things you have to do, right? But when I put these oils on my body and they enter into my energy field, I just feel more grounded, a more sense of peace, hope, and a reminder that, hey, actually, remember, we get to co-create our reality, and today something amazing is going to happen.
Is there a particular place where you put them on, and are there particular oils that can help um, us with certain kinds of ways of feeling or ways of being?
So I choose to use Young Living because I find the most benefit from them. And let me give you an example. I have an oil, and it's called Joy. And it's a blend of a lot of amazing things. And one of the things in the blend is rose oil. We know that rose vibrates at the frequency of love. And so I literally put that on my heart every morning to raise my vibration from, maybe, just kind of being groggy early in the morning and not being excited for a new day, to vibrating towards love for myself, love for my family, love for humankind. And it, it stretches out my purpose. Same, I have an oil called Valor, and I literally put it on my throat every day to remind myself to speak my truth and
Yes.
to live with courage, right? So I can feel a major difference with these oils, and there are so many different kinds of oils you can put different places in your body in order to, find some relief from stress or anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
to find some help with depression. I know a lot of us these days are finding some more struggles with anxiety and with depression.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And as somebody who's lived with both of those conditions, I really try to keep myself in check, and those oils are very beneficial.
As all my listeners know, I suffered from an anxiety disorder. And one of the first things that I did to try to get better holistically was use essential oils. I had a total of about 9 different oils, and would use them on different areas of my feet. Because if you're into reflexology, certain areas of your feet lead to certain organs and so on and so forth. And I have to say that that really began my healing process of getting rid of anxiety. And I used to have it like 70% of the time. Now I have it like maybe 2 or 3% of the time. So it has totally changed. And the essential oils was a great part of that. When it comes to essential oils, I know we have a lot of listeners who are women that listen to Vibe Living, and they're looking to vibe, how to be vibrant, intuitive, beautiful, and emerged. What kind of essential oils do you think can help them achieve that when it comes to their hormones, their energy level, this anxiety and stress that comes sometimes with menopause?
You know, there's an oil that I absolutely swear by, and I've really benefited from it a lot. It's called Progessence Plus, and Progessence Plus helps me a ton. Like, I had really bad premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is like exasperated PMS. And as I use the Progessence Plus, the longer I use it, the less and less terrible I feel during PMS. And I'm not to the stage yet of, menopause. However, a lot of women who have been through menopause also have greatly benefited from Progessence Plus.
Oh,
So
that is wonderful. I love that. I've heard of Progestins Plus, as a matter of fact. and that it works very well with hormones. Well, you shared so much with us today. And, in our earlier segments, we were talking about, mind moves and how to increase our creativity. And we also talked about body Bella and how to stay calm. And I bet you probably have essential oils for creativity, essential oils to be calm. You probably have essential oils that fall into a lot of different categories that can help people achieve the goals that they have.
Absolutely. Even if I'm working with a client long distance over the phone or over Skype or something, I can apply essential oils to them energetically through the session. For instance, frankincense can really
Yes.
get a person to meditation and into, and into calm and relaxed states faster than you could without the frankincense. And so that's something that I really love to do, is incorporate essential oils into energy healing. And so if somebody's purpose is, to foster creativity or to find some peace or to, let's say, release grief, then a combination of the essential oils and the energy healing can make a long lasting difference. And I'm a personal believer because I've been through it, and it's been a huge asset for my life.
Well, I am so glad that you stopped by today to share such wonderful information about energy healing and about essential oils. And for people who want to find out more, like how to book one of those amazing phone appointments with you, where do they go? How do they do that?
I have a Facebook page. It's called Chronic Wellness. You can also find me on Instagram under chronic_wellness_tips. Also, I can be found at allysha.snow@gmail.com. ALLYSHA period SNOW@gmail.com. And I will absolutely love to hear from you. And again, be glad to match you with essential oils and or energy healing to really help you be able to thrive.
Oh, that's fantastic, Allie. And of course, everyone, all of those links are on the show page. And whether you're listening on Anchor FM or Apple Podcast, all the other platforms that we're on, you will see that information in the snow page. And I highly encourage you to check Allie out. When she was talking about the ability to do energy healing and essential oils through the phone, that is something that is really awesome. And I want all of you to have that opportunity to experience it. Allie, thank you so much for being on Vibe Living. And I got to ask you one question that I ask all of my guests. How do you vibe?
I set daily intentions, sometimes hourly, to be able to prosper, to be able to thrive. And also, I just really try to surround myself with people who also live with a high vibration. I just seek to be around high caliber individuals, and it really, really helps.
Well, that's fantastic. Well, thank you for allowing me to be around you as a high caliber individual, high vibrational individual. It's been wonderful getting to know you. And thanks for being a guest on Vibe Living.
Linus, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And I got to say thank you to all of you who have tuned in today to listen to this episode. Wow, what fabulous information we got a chance to share. That's fantastic. Wow. I don't know about you, but I enjoy preparing this podcast for you. And as usual, I always learn something, and I hope that you have too. I love sharing with you my Vibe world. Please take the time to comment and share the podcast. You can also click on the donation button. That will help to keep me on the air. And I love all of you. And until the next time, keep sharing the love and don't forget to vibe. Thank you for listening to the Vibe Living Podcast. Please feel free to download, rate, share, and like the show. To find out more about living a Vibe life, go to my website at wellnesswoman40.com or email me at vibelivingpodcast@gmail.com. Have a fantastic day and don't forget to vibe.